Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm, and today we're hitting 25 below zero. And I'm going to put this camera down so I can get my glove on before I go out of the truck here. I'm actually standing outside on the edge of the truck. Hold on just a minute. Okay, I'm back. We're out here. We just moved the mob into the stockpile. And they do have a really nice cedar grove back over that hill right there. There's a bluff or a hill that blocks the wind. But you can see these cattle, they've got some stockpile strip out there. It's really high quality stuff. And they're coming after it. Ben and Isaac are chopping the ice on this tank. 25 below. How thick is that, Isaac? 2.5 inches. So Isaac's got on his neoprene gloves. That's a pretty good chunk of ice.
Just for overnight. That was clear. What? 12 hours ago?
12 hours ago. So we've got a 400-gallon tank, and that's how much ice froze overnight. And we take our bucket and get the ice cubes out of there. So the water flow coming up on this concrete pad is actually right there in the middle of that tank. That's what's keeping that 25 below zero weather from freezing the inlet. The inlet valve, this is fed by a pond, gravity flow out of the bottom of that dam right there. And we do have a shut off. That frost-free tank there is worth about what, you know, it's worth nothing. It doesn't have enough flow. It doesn't keep up with 375 head. You got cattle standing waiting for a drink. So that was a big waste of money. If you got a small herd and you got pressure, that tank is pretty darn good. It'll work fine, but not in this kind of weather for a big herd. This holds 400 gallons. They can come up here and get them a drink, then get back out there and get them something to eat, and then go get out of the wind. And we're supposed to get another, I don't know, 2 inches of rain today, something like that.
Snow. 2 inches of snow.
I'm sorry, I said rain. Yeah, it won't be rain, it'll be snow.
Chilly for rain.
Isaac, go get your, well, you already took your gloves off. That's all right. I was going to knock that ice off that. Yeah. Yeah, so Isaac holds that float with the neoprene gloves, and then you just barely tap that to get that ice off that float. If you get too much ice on that float, it weights it down, and it'll bring your water level.
It's in the truck.
It'll bring the water level up too high, and then you got water flowing over the edge of your tank. And in a deal like this, you don't want water flowing across at 25 below zero. You'll have an ice flow. It'll look like a lava flow, only it'll be frozen solid. Look at that, 25 below zero, and those south poles are out there grazing. They've all got good winter hair coats. They've all got a really good constitution for grazing. That's what they've always done. And folks, we did unroll really nice, high quality orchard grass, red clover, hay bale back over there out of the wind. I'll bet you there's not 5 cows over there eating on it. They're all out here on this stockpile. So, I'm telling you, if you're in an area where you can grow fescue, particularly Kentucky 31, it takes grazing a lot better than the other. It's just a stronger forage. It does have the endophyte in it. You got to learn how to manage that. But don't graze it down too short and move them. But it is a tough fescue. It stays green. It feeds your animals all winter long. And it keeps you from having to feed, as much hay. They just don't like it as well, the hay, as they do the fescue. That's good, guys. So they knocked about a pound of ice off that. And Isaac, you go get your gloves on, man.
These actually are pretty warm. But you know it's cold outside when the water I spilled on me is already frozen. See that?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's just unreal. Look at that. 25 below and our cattle got water. You know, that's unreal. Yeah, we got some ice on there, but that ice is kind of acting like a buffer all the way around that tank, and it's not letting the freeze get to our inflow. If your inflow valve freezes, you're done. So that's why we don't drain our tanks in the wintertime. We come to a tank, we chop the ice off of it, and we go. So we first chopped the ice off that yesterday, or 2 days ago. Well, you can't see the thickness. Well, here's one, right there. So that's how thick it was. That one's about 8 inches thick, probably. There's a big chunk right there that came off of it. But now we're only chopping about, I don't know, that one right there probably 3 inches thick.
Yeah.
That's not bad. So, yeah, it's of course we got our lane. They've got to walk up this lane. We've parked the mineral feeder right there. What do have y'all noticed something about the mineral consumption since it's gotten cold?
It's dropped off like, I don't even know. Like usually we probably fill like half the minerals like once a week maybe or something like that.
Yep.
And we probably filled 2 minerals in like 2 weeks. So, I mean, it's like less than a quarter probably of the normal consumption.
Yep. Isaac, what do you think about this stockpile grazing versus if we had to unroll a bunch of hay out there this morning?
It's just better for the cattle. I mean, you look at them, they're all out there, you know, they're getting their own lunch. We're not having to haul it to them. We gave them a bale this morning, but we probably didn't need to, but it's just good to keep them full in this kind of weather too.
Yeah. One thing that I've emphasized to both these young men is when it gets down below zero, especially 25 below wind chill, you can't hardly keep them full. And so always err on the side of being conservative. Give them plenty. You know, even if there's a little hay left over tonight, at least you went back to the house knowing that the animals had all they could eat. And what did we do this morning, guys? You want to talk a little bit about how we had that bottom set up and how we changed that?
Yeah, so we had 2 wires split in this bottom. There's one right over there, and there's one right here. And there's a windbreak right over there where there's like a little bluff and some trees.
Yep.
And that's where we wanted them to be at in this weather.
Yep.
And so what we did is we came off of that fence with this reel and took it all the way and ended it on the other fence over there. So they've got access to that bluff and that protection.
So we completely changed the way they were grazing.
Yep.
We
were going to just put them in here.
Yep.
And then graze away from it, but we're going to put them in here, and then we'll probably have to feed them that one next and then this one. But,
yeah. So what did y'all learn this morning as far as you got to monitor, right? You monitor your conditions. Just because we had a plan in place, we had to change that plan immediately this morning, 25 below zero. Those animals are all stuck in a corner over there.
Yeah, and if you look, this is where they were at. I mean, there's no wind protection anywhere in here.
No, there's one big cedar over there, but that's not enough for 375 head.
No.
So, and that's kind of where they were at this morning when we first arrived.
Yep.
But now, those cattle, they got good winter hair coats on them. They're all out there grazing.
They're spread out too.
Yeah. And I think we need to get in the truck. It's cold.
There's already ice forming.
Look at that. We just chopped the ice on that. And take your bucket bin and snap and just...
It's not going to be much. Just a little slush.
Yeah, it's just a slush. But look at that. I mean, it hasn't been over 2 minutes. It's already got ice freezing back. But the cows will keep that open. We'll come here back tonight. We will double check that just to make sure. But with that, we're going to get back in this truck. And I'm going to wait till I get in the truck, take my glove off so I can stop this video. But we're going to run over to the sheep now and see how they're doing and the guard dogs. And we're going to give them some water and we'll go from there. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Y'all have a good one.